Good day, grade 12 learners. I'm Mr. Parker, and in today's video, we'll be doing a brief introduction as to the topics that you will cover in grade 12 life sciences. Just a reminder that these topics are based on the grade 12 CAPS curriculum. So if your school covers the CAPS curriculum, then these are the topics that you will be covering in grade 12. So firstly, the following sequence of topics is recommended for teaching in grade 12 based on the progressive development of concepts through the different topics. So these are the topics that we will be covering in grade 12. It's not necessarily the order in which the topics will follow, but these are the topics that you will cover. So firstly, DNA, the code of life. Secondly, meiosis. Thirdly, reproduction in vertebrates. Fourthly, human reproduction. Number 5, genetics and inheritance. Number 6, responding to the environment, that will be in humans. Number 7, the endocrine system and homeostasis in humans. Homeostasis in humans was something that you touched on in grade 11 as well. So that will basically be a type of revision for you when we do come to that topic later on during the course of the year. Number 8, responding to the environment, that will be specifically in plants. And then lastly, number 9, we will look at evolution. If we have a look at the format of the question papers that you will be expected to follow this year, you will have 2 question papers that you will write at the end of this year, at the end of your grade 12 academic year. You will have a paper 1 and a paper 2, and each paper will be for a duration of 2 hours and 30 minutes. The total mark allocation allocated to each paper will be out of 150 marks. So the format of the question paper, the examination will consist of 2 question papers of 2 hours and 30 minutes each and 150 marks each. So if we have to have a look at the format of your question paper, firstly it will comprise of section A. Section A will have your short answer questions such as multiple choice, terminology, columns, statements, and matching items, and that comes to a grand total of 50 marks. So 50 marks is allocated to section A only. You will notice that the format of your question paper for grade 12 is exactly the same like the format of your question paper which you followed in grade 11 as well as grade 10. Section B comprises of a variety of question types. These include 2 questions of 50 marks each. It will be subdivided into a number of sub-questions. Each may further be divided. The mark allocation, it will be 50 marks per question, so it will be 2 times 50, gives you a grand total out of 100 for section B. So therefore, if you get the grand total of the entire question paper, it will be 50 marks for section A plus 100 marks for section B, gives you that grand total of 150 marks. Remember that you will have 2 question papers, so it will be paper 1 as well as paper 2. Paper 1 comes out of 150 marks, paper 2 out of 150 marks as well. If we have a look at the distribution of topics for each of the 2 papers that you are going to be writing this year, firstly paper 1. These are the topics that will be covered in paper 1. This is the weighting for each topic in terms of percentage as well as the mark allocated to each specific topic. So I'm going to go through it with you now. Firstly, you will have reproduction in vertebrates, roughly 8 marks allocated to that. Human reproduction, roughly 41 marks. Secondly, in term 2, it will be responding to the environment. That counts about 54 marks of the paper. Responding to the environment, that will be in plants. That will come to 13 marks. The endocrine system and homeostasis comes to roughly 34 marks. And if you add all of this together, it will give you a grand total out of 150. So just to go through that again for paper 1, it's the following topics: reproduction in vertebrates and human reproduction. Responding to the environment in humans, responding to the environment in plants, and then lastly the endocrine system as well as homeostasis. Those are the topics which will be covered in paper 1. Then the topics that will be covered for paper 2 are, firstly, you're going to have DNA, the code of life. That comes to roughly 27 marks. Secondly, meiosis comes to roughly 21 marks. Genetics and inheritance comes to about 48 marks. And then lastly, evolution comes to about 54 marks. If you add all of this together, it should give you a grand total out of 150. So those are 4 topics that's going to be tested in paper 2. DNA, the code of life, meiosis, genetics and inheritance, as well as evolution. So these are basically the topics that will be covered in both your papers, paper 1 as well as paper 2. The following video will have a look at the first topic which you should cover in term 1, which will be DNA, the code of life. So thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video, and I hope that you all will be back soon for the content videos, and the first one will be based on DNA, the code of life.